Welcome back, learners. In our last session, we explored how goods reach rural areas. We looked at the rural distribution network and understood the importance of transportation, communication and warehousing in physical distribution. We also compared direct and indirect distribution channels and saw how each one fit different market and customer needs. In this session, we will take a closer look at important role that salesperson play in rural markets, not just as seller but as connector between the company and the customer. We will also compare various distribution model and look at some innovative and smart methods companies are using to reach even the remotest customers. Let's begin and see how companies are adapting and evolving to serve India's vast diverse rural landscape. Problems in rural distribution. One of the main problems in rural distribution is the lack of dealers. Many companies find it hard to get good and trustworthy sellers in villages. Even if a company wants to train people from beginning, it is not always easy to find the right ones. Another issue is that many small villages shops do not earn enough money, which make it harder to keep dealer or attract new ones. Further complicating rural distribution is the lack of adequate bank facilities. The absence of good banking and credit services significantly hamper the smooth flow of goods to rural markets. Rural stores rely basically on banking for various needs including managing their finance, transactions, etc. Closely related is the lack of sufficient credit facility. Institutional and bank credit is often not readily available or adequate for rural businesses. This credit shortage means rural stores cannot afford to keep enough stock on hand. Moreover, they are often unable to extend credit to their own customers. This creates a vicious circle, which means insufficient credit leads to insufficient stock, which results in lost businesses, ultimately make it difficult for these shops to remain viable. Let's now explore strategies to tackle the problems of channels of distribution. One key strategy is relying on private village shops. These small shops are actually the main distribution channel for many consumer products in rural areas. They are usually the cheap and the most convenient option for companies to work with. A survey by Operations Research Group found that out of around 2.02 million sales outlets in rural India are these private shops. These village shops are known as some of the most cost-effective distribution channel in the world. Another effective strategy is satellite distribution, which is highly recommended for rural market. Basically, in this system, companies set up scotties in big cities or nearby small towns. These stockists take care of important tasks like storing goods, handling money matters and supplying products to smaller rural markets. Basically, retailers from nearby villages then connect with these stockists. They may be authorized seller or franchisee dealers. Instead of appointing many dealers in every village, the company relies on few trusted stockists. These stockists buy goods directly from manufacturer, often on credit or consignments. Then they use their own delivery vans to send product to village shop. What's important here is that the stockists are fully responsible for managing the finance of their operation. This model is simple, efficient and help companies reach even remote areas in a cost effective way. Role of rural salesperson. Now let's understand who a rural salesperson is. A rural salesperson is someone responsible for selling products or services in village areas. To do this job well, they need a few important qualities. First, they must know how to build trust and form good relationship with the ultimate customers. Second, they should understand the local area, including the people's lifestyle, need and local influencers. Third, they must be good communicators. That means they should explain things clearly and convince people in a simple and respectful way. There are some key difference between rural and urban sales job. In rural areas, salesperson often have to handle many types of products and also travel more often to meet customers who are spread out across different villages. So, being a rural salesperson is a challenging but important role in connecting companies with village customers. Now, let us look at some key functions of rural salesperson. First is field engagement. This means they actively meet and connect with rural consumers and look retailers to maximize sales. They do this by showing product demonstration to farmers or having direct contact with farmers and organizing village level meetings to discuss products and gather feedback from them. The second important function is intermediary development. Here, the salesperson works on building a strong distribution network by training local retailers so they know how to sell product well and motivating channels partner like dealers and distributor to perform better. They also try to develop long term relationship to ensure steady support and growth. Together, these functions helps rural salesperson connect companies with customers and grow business in villages. Let's continue with more functions of rural salesperson. The third function is seasonal planning. This means planning resources and sales activities based on the agriculture season and also pest problem that farmers usually face. Next is inventory management. A good rural salesperson makes sure there is no overstocking or dumping of products. They keep just the right amount of stock to meet demand without waste. Finally, there is market development. This basically involves finding and creating new opportunities to sell products in rural areas, helping the company reach more customers and grow the business. We now turn our attention to rural market distribution models. It is important to understand that companies specializing in different product categories often implement diverse distribution models. The choice of model depends significantly on the most effective method to reach and serve their target rural market. Let us take an example, a company like Ghari Detergent, which focuses on specific product segment with high volume, might employ a model with a smaller number of channel members in its rural distribution network compared to a large corporations like Hindustan Unilever, which handle a vast portfolio of products requiring more extensive reach. Now, focusing specifically on FMCG distribution models. A study on rural distribution conducted by MART in 2004 found that the rural distribution approaches of all major fast moving consumer goods companies can generally be classified into two universal models, while minor variation naturally exists from one company to another company. These are two foundational models are referred to as distribution model 1 and distribution model 2. Let us start with distribution model 1. This is considered an advanced model characterized by the use of distinct and separate channels for distributing products in urban and rural market. This approach is typically utilized by established companies that already have a significant presence and experience in rural regions. The core of its channel structure is the separation of rural distribution from urban operations, allowing for concentrated focus on unique need of rural market. Rural distributors are appointed with clearly defined geographical area of responsibility. So, to extend reach even further into rural areas, particularly targeting communities with population up to 5,000, the corporations often designates sub-distributors who operates under regional distributors. In the DM1 distribution model, one main distributor called the regional distributor handle a large area. This area often had bad roads, small shops that do not sell so much. So, it is not easy or profitable to deliver directly to every small village. So, to solve this problem, the RD also works with wholesalers who help supply product in that region. These wholesalers are helpful because they sell many different items, handle large quantities and reach remote market that the company cannot reach directly. A big part of DM1 model is that it sets up more delivery point in rural area, so to cover all the scattered villages. The RD send a small amount of products more often to these points, so customers in every area get regular supply. The main benefit of DM1 model are better control over sales and distribution, second fairly pricing, third smooth delivery of products across all rural areas. Now, let us examine distribution model 2. In contrast to DM1, DM2 is more standard distribution model. Defining characteristics here is the rural market are served by the same channel infrastructure that serves urban markets. There isn't any separate dedicated rural distribution setup. This model is often utilized by some regional and national players, particularly those with a limited number of stock keeping units and companies that may not have a highly developed specific rural strategy. This model is inherently simple than DM1 because it avoids the complexity of maintaining a distinct channel for rural distribution. Let us now understand the key features of DM2 distribution model. The biggest advantage of DM2 is that it reduces distribution cost. This helps distributors and their partners earn more profit and also support better product sales. In this model, companies often use wholesalers to supply nearby villages that their main distributors do not directly cover. DM2 works best for companies that have fewer products but sell in high volume like Ghadi detergent or Priya Gold biscuits. Usually, one distributor handles a large area and works with fewer partners, but they still earn well due to big sales number and higher margins. This model is also popular with new companies that do not have wide distribution network. These companies usually do not follow a detailed rural strategy, but can still reach rural customers through this setup. Let us now understand how logistics and area coverage work in DM2 distribution model. In DM2 model, stock is first sent to companies depot and then to distributors using big trucks. Distributors then use small vehicles like tempos to supply their area, but they pay for this part themselves. They usually hire 3-4 people to help. DM2 distribution covers a large area than those in DM1, but since there are no sub distributor, it is hard to reach remote village directly. So, wholesaler often help cover those areas. Also, companies using this model supply what is readily available, which work well for businesses with fewer products and high sales volume. Priya Gold biscuit is a great example that follow DM2 model. Now, let us look at how consumer durables like fan, TVs and appliances are distributed in rural areas. These products are mostly brought in towns and small cities, not in remote villages. So, unlike FMCG products, the number of distribution points is fewer, but still reaches many customers. There are two main strategies used to distribute these products. The first is traditional strategy. In this model, companies do not do anything special for rural areas. They use their regular urban distributor to supply rural customers. Brands like Usha and Bajaj have used this method. The second is the distinct network strategy. Here, companies build a separate network just for rural markets with their own sales and services teams. Brands like Philips and LG follow this model. For example, Philips Lighting gets more than 75% of its bulb sales from rural areas, showing how well a focused rural strategy can work. Rural centric models. As more companies try to enter rural markets, they are coming up with new and low cost way to reach remote areas. This has led to creation of rural focused distribution model. To make this model work, it is important to learn from old system like village market, herds, mobile traders and the public distribution systems. At the same time, companies need to use the available support in villages like self-help groups, cooperatives, NGOs, youth groups and even petrol pumps. The key to success is to make sure everyone involved benefits, including local people and partners. Today, companies use both traditional methods like herds, cooperatives and PDS and also new ways such as working with SSGs and young entrepreneurs. Other new methods include using petrol stations or working with NGOs to reach rural customers. All these efforts aim to build sustainable and long-term systems where many people and groups work together to serve rural consumers better. A good example of traditional rural focused model is the use of herds or sandis. These are weekly markets commonly found in central India. Herds are an important part of rural life and act as a natural distribution and gathering point for nearby villages. They are usually held in easily reachable areas and attract large number of rural people on market day. Many big companies like Mahindra, Hero Honda, Bajaj, TVS, Tata, Imami, Parle, HUL, Coca-Cola, Nestle, Dabur, Samsung and mobile network like Airtel, Vodafone, Idea, BSNL and others use these herds to promote their product and boost sales. Among them, Mahindra and Airtel are known for using herds very effectively. To meet the rising demand in rural market, many companies are now using modern distribution models. One powerful example is the self-help group model. Now let us discuss what is self-help group model. A SHG is a small group of 10 to 15 women, usually formed with help from government or NGOs. These groups focused on saving money together, building confidence and starting small businesses using loans from rural banks, etc. SSGs were first started to fight poverty, especially in Bangladesh and later spread quickly in India. Today, with nearly 7 million SSGs in India, companies see them as a great way to reach rural homes, even in remote areas. This model basically helps companies build a low cost and trusted distribution network while also empowering rural women. Another modern way to reach rural area is the youth entrepreneurship model. Earlier, companies used their own sales team, but faced problem in remote villages like poor road and low sales. But they missed a big opportunity, that is educated unemployed youth living in these areas. With the right training and support, these young people can become local entrepreneurs. This idea was promoted by Mart, and companies like Colgate, Heinz and Novartis have used it successfully. For example, Colgate Disa is a popular case where rural youth helped the branch reach villages that were hard to access before. This model not only help companies grow but also give rural youth a chance to earn and build a future. Let's look at another important tool in rural distribution, that is mobile vans. Companies like Everready use these vans to deliver product in rural areas. A salesman loads the van with goods from a local stock point and travel to nearby markets. Once done, they move to the next area and continue, finally returning to the starting point. These vans helps in both selling product and promoting brands, but owning and running vans can be costly for companies. Everready run over 1000 vans across India effectively. Other companies like Hans combine this with the youth entrepreneur model, using van to distribute product like Nycil, Glucon-D and Complan in villages. An established channel with significant rural reach is the public distribution system. The PDS is a government led mechanism designed for distributing vital items to a vast section of the population. This distribution occurs through a widespread network of fair price stores, commonly known as ration shops. The commodities typically distributed through the PDS include essentials like wheat, rice, sugar, edible oil and kerosene. In the cooperative movement, some models like Varna Bazaar and Farmers Services Cooperative Societies are very important. These cooperatives work like small supermarket for rural customers, selling everyday items, household goods and farming supplies at fair price. Varna Bazaar is a great example. It starts in 1978 as a cooperative for milk and sugar in Maharashtra. Now it's run 2 big stores and about 50 branches in rural areas of Kolhapur. Varna Bazaar offer many products like FMCG goods, durable goods, auto parts and farmer supplies, all in one place. People often come with their whole family and take home large purchases using tractors or carts, showing how important these stores are in rural life. Let's summarize the key aspect of distribution pattern for consumer and industrial goods, particularly in rural India. As we began by understanding the complexity of rural distribution network, emphasizing basically on challenges such as poor infrastructure, widely scattered population and limited access to roads, communication and adequate warehousing. After that, we learned about physical distribution. Physical distribution in this context involved creatively managing logistics, often relying on adaptive transportation methods like animal carts and mobile vans. We explored various distribution channels including direct, that is from producer to consumer, and indirect system involving multiple intermediaries, looking at vertical, horizontal and multiple channels marketing approaches. After that, we have seen key problems like identified including shortage of suitable dealers, limited banking facilities and insufficient credit. So, to overcome these strategies like leveraging private village shops, satellite distribution and innovative models like Project Shakti and youth entrepreneurship were discussed. We detailed two main FMCG distribution model, that is DM1 and DM2, which vary in complexity and their focus on rural markets. noting that durable typically use simpler, often urban-centric models. Finally, the unit highlighted the importance of rural salesperson and various rural-centered and modern distribution models like Hertz, cooperatives like Varna Bazaar, the public distribution system and mobile merchants. All of these integrate traditional practices with modern logistics. So, to ensure deeper market penetration and effective services delivery in the vast rural landscape of India. Thank you dear learners for your attention. Keep exploring, stay crucial and continue learning.